I can do it with 100 people. I can roll and scroll over them and see who they are closely connected to. Again, visualization helps me so that I can say, where am I now, and where do I need to be, and who do I want to meet that's going to help me, or my clients, or my friends. Same thing, Google Plus has something called Ripples. Ripples, you can only use Ripples if your stream is public. So this is an example of one of my friends, Chris Brogan, shared a post. You can see who else is sharing it. I can look at those folks. I'm in there as well and say, okay, we're all in this conversation. How, who's saying what? And maybe I want to talk to 3 out of the 5 people who are there and build a relationship with them. And you can see how the information travels. It's very interesting. We're looking at the culture and the sociology of the community. We start understanding how people are talking and interacting. So this is definitely something different than how we used to look at our relationships before and use technology. And just a few more of the roles and responsibilities. We definitely take time to build audience profiles when we're looking at how groups want to participate in our communities, really digging into what are those critical issues, perhaps who's driving the communication the most, how do I benefit from this group, how are they going to benefit from me. Reputation task force member, this is practice number 7. You're on the task force no matter what when you're in PR. It's kind of a grassroots thing. Nobody really asks you to manage the brand's reputation. I think no matter what part of communications you're in, you do it automatically. But this is an opportunity to actually learn more about the core values of the brand itself, and to educate others. So we're trying to keep this voice intact, and it's not easy. It's very difficult. As the brand voice goes out and as it's represented through different social media properties, we really have to understand the promise, the tone, the style, and educate our peers and others within the organization. So this is just an example. This was one of the brands that I worked with, the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics. They have numerous properties, and they have 70,000 members who are participating. And they're constantly watching to make sure that their brand voice is being upheld. They understand, we did an exercise breaking their voice into what is the persona, what's the language, what's the tone, what is the purpose. And once you do this, it makes it a lot easier to be able to listen and watch and to take a look at managing that reputation through the tools that we have. So what we're able to do today, which is the difference from before, was every day we're watching reputation. It's almost reputation management on steroids. So whether you're using those platforms or listening, not only are you listening, but you're comparing sentiment. What we tend to do is we're comparing sentiment on different platforms. How is our voice and how will it be received? We're reviewing emotion and tone of content, which is really new to us. We're looking at the analytics. I just lost my presentation, that's okay. We're also looking at the influencers and what they're saying about us so that we can keep a pulse, which is really important. So all of the ways that we can look at our reputation, to understand the reputation, to have it filtrate throughout our organization so that we can all communicate the right way and then be watching it makes the reputation task force effort. So I will show you some of the other practices. One really important role within this is the human face. Just to remember that in order to have that reputation and to have that brand voice out there is to be human and to be transparent. And then the last practice, which I know will come up sooner or later, which is really important, is the master of metrics. Not to be taken lightly. One thing I think we all have to realize, and you've heard it before, is that in order to be measuring something, we have to identify why are we doing this. That's number one. What are our objectives? Objectives need to be quantified and measured over time. So the master of the metrics, it's interesting because when I think about social media, it's this big iceberg. And we tend to, the very tip of the iceberg is all the channels where we communicate. So a lot of professionals, executives, below the surface is where you get, okay, what are our objectives? How are we measuring? What kind of ROI are we trying to achieve? And remember, ROI for the executive is very different than if you're saying a return on investment within your PR team and try to understand the program success. When you talk to a president, a CEO, C-level professional, ROI is their bottom line. How is it connected to money and profit? You can only connect so much. That is to understand that social media and whatever metrics you pull have to be used with other data. So I can certainly understand how, for some of my programs, social media is driving to my website. I can see when I shared certain things, we had a program that came in through Facebook or came in through Twitter. But on the website, what did people do? Did they click for more information? Did I get a lead? Did I get a sale? That's what executives are looking for. Or they're looking for, perhaps, customer service. Did I solve a customer service issue? How many customer service issues did I solve on Facebook rather than people having to call the call center? That's really important. Thank you. So, I catch up to myself. That was my iceberg that I had described. So it's a difference between, when you have this ROI pyramid, the top are the business metrics, because business professionals want business metrics, leads, sales, revenue, customer service. Lower levels are more, not that these metrics aren't important or the executives don't care, but when it comes to the views and the tweets and the retweets and the impressions, that's more the folks who are running the campaigns. It could be within the communications department, it could be the agency, it could be the social media manager. So just understanding there are different levels. So the master of the metrics, number one, has to know what metrics are important to what groups in order to perform. And I love this chart because it breaks it down very simply to say, when it comes to social media measurement, think qualitative, think quantitative. There's three different levels. There's the informed level. We all do that first. We are just sharing. We're not thinking about what anybody else is doing. This is when our metrics are strictly about what we do. How many times we post, how many times we put out tweets, how many times it's a Facebook update, how many times do we put out a video. It's just our numbers. Sometimes qualitatively we might get some comments. Inspire is when you start getting people excited around your content and they interact with you, and then you get a number of content, maybe you get those views, maybe you're seeing bloggers pick up on your story and you're writing about it, you're writing favorably, and you're also getting that qualitative. You know that there's learning, you know that there's different sentiment around it, you're listening. But the last bucket, that's that important executive bucket, that's the one that says, you know what, we want the metrics that are really focused on our leads, our sales, types of conversion, customer service satisfaction, and we measure qualitatively as well. So just some helpful tools so that you can think differences in metrics and different ways that we get out there and how we can measure appropriately. This is the master of the metrics. But like I said, so I'm a traditional girl at heart, or 23 years ago. I'm in Excel. My CEOs that I work with still like Excel. They want to see percentages over time, no problem. I can give you fancy charts through some of those platforms that I mentioned, but I can also put it together in a spreadsheet so that you can see it, quantify, it's benchmarked over time. Because that's the only way that you're really going to show any type of progress and success and ROI. So just a few things to keep in mind. And lastly, there's your chart of responsibilities. So a lot goes into the metrics, from the simple to the complex, to identify the informed, inspire, and the engage. So, I guess now I have to ask you another question. I gave you 8 practices, a lot of information. We talked about Gary, we talked about do we want to finish familiar. We saw all the charts of responsibilities. Some things were familiar, some things were probably just good slides, maybe you were doing that. So I'll ask you, what stands between you and expanding into new practices? Is it the competencies? Is it a new strategic approach? Is it raising PR's profile? Well, I say nothing. It's only you. It starts with you. It starts on the inside with our passion. It goes into our organizations, and then it goes outward. With that, I want to say thank you, and you were a wonderful audience.
Thank you so much for this spot-on presentation and making it so relatable. A whole lot of you who now do not want to finish familiar. All thanks to our guest who's coming all the way after the 27-hour journey, like I was telling you. I'm going to now invite Anand Rangaswamy, Senior Editor at firstpost.com, because there is a Q&A and we're going to take full advantage of you being here. And especially after you've said that you're going to make us all famous on Twitter and every social media network possible. But before I welcome Anand and Deirdre to please take the seats for the Q&A session. Also would like to request you all to post your tweets, your comments, your views, opinions on #PRAXIS 2012. It'll be really good to see you do that. And in case any of you in this room and hall haven't yet got this on your wrists, please do so, because there is a side effect of not getting this. You may not get your food. It is an absolute must, I'm told, and somebody from the organizer's side very helpfully put this tag on me. Remember the hashtag too, but meanwhile now over to Anand and Gil.
Thank you for a wonderfully flattering session. I got completely stunned by your presentation. I think that will be true of more than 60, 70 people. What frightens me is all this is happening today, and therefore it will happen here sooner than we think. And that's what we see with the media, we see with mobility, we see with the economy just comes up so fast and we're unprepared. So like I said, it's a terrific the first question here, I think a lot of the people in here have a similar question. What happens if the client wants to be like that? If the client wants to finish familiar? That's, I think, a problem a lot of them will face. How do you deal with that?
That's an excellent question, and I think we're all faced with that in some respects. The client wanting to finish familiar, sometimes you have to advise your client that it's really not about their needs. So in order to serve their public and all of their stakeholders, you may need to incorporate new ways to reach them. So different industries that I've worked in, what I've noticed, and this dates back a little bit, but I remember speaking with accountants and lawyers, and they were saying, we don't need to be out there. None of our clients really are on Facebook or Twitter. And one thing I pointed out to them was, well, maybe not your clients, but all of your new talent is there. There was always a reason. There was always a reason to do it. So that's what I'm finding. And if you can bring in the best practice case studies and examples and show them that it's more about the people who are out there as stakeholders, we get not want to push away.
Now, leaving out there, what do you find that it's easier to convince clients where the top management is younger as opposed to older? Have you found that, or is the company needs to be younger or older, or the management needs to be younger or older to sort of absorb this?
It depends. In some cases, I've been pleasantly surprised. More senior professionals have actually embraced social media, but it's because we go into it saying, no, you don't have to be on Facebook, or you're not the one who's supposed to be on Twitter. So that's where we've gotten more acceptance. Usually with the younger professionals, it's never been an issue. They're so intuitive with technology and social media that they're all for it and ready to embrace it.
I'll ask you one last question before we get to the audience. I look at the demand for the new profession, and I ask myself, therefore, that does anything to the business actually different from animals compared to 10 years ago? We need to look for different skill sets on hiring for your company, as opposed to 10, 15 years ago.
I love this question. It's a changing animal. I think we all have to change and grow, but being that I came from a traditional background, there are certain things that I will never let go of because I know it well serves our industry moving forward. But when it does come to hiring, there's no doubt that you will be looking for professionals who, especially if you're in consumer or retail or manufacturing, you will need professionals who understand social media. And the communications professional, the PR professional who knows all media and how to reach people, those are the professionals that can truly win.
Well, thank you so much for that. I'll throw it open to the audience now for any questions they may have. Yes, the lady in front.
Hi.
Oh, yeah. Just introduce yourself, please.
My name is Jan. I'm a marketing communications professional. Thanks for the wonderful session. Right? With a quick point and then ask one question.
Can I just interrupt here? Can you stick to questions rather than points? We've got lots of speakers. Stick to the question, please. Anybody with a question?
Question number one was, most of the points we're talking about their honest opinions. But what we know is, for a fact, is that that's not true to a substantial extent. We are in the age where we're talking about parallel internet, privatized internet, talking about privacy issues.
Can we get to the question, please?
The question is, in the wake of such developments, how relevant will be the 8 points we mentioned in the context of these developments or facts?
Question. So, the practices are meant to enhance in any way that you're able to. So, you may not be able to do everything in every single practice. It's to take what you can, whether it's regulated or you have to operate within a certain fashion. You can only take what is going to allow you to enhance and operate the right way. So there will be things in here that might not apply, and as regulations change or things open up, we might be able to move forward in a different way. So I think that's something that
Yeah, I think it's the principles that one needs to absorb rather than the specifics. So by and large, the environment, even in print or TV, we operate in a changing environment. Laws change, things happen, and in 1991 we had one channel, 1999 we had 300 because the laws changed. So, and then we adapted. Yes, the next question, yeah, please.
Hi, there was one very interesting comments on Facebook or any social media. So one of the things that is a challenge with us is anything. So general questions and all, it's easy to answer. But when it comes to customer complaints, we rather take them off social media because otherwise, even if it's one person commenting and there are 20 others who just joined the bandwagon. So I thought I'll put this up to you because we just started doing it a year ago. So if you had a point of view or you would advise us to do otherwise.
So, yeah, response chart. So, you want to make sure if something comes up on let's say your Facebook page, that you address it. And what will happen is that the first thing that you'll say is that we're looking into this information, we understand, we'll be able to get back to you, and then you're going to give a point of contact. The point is to make sure there's only certain things that you can say on Facebook or Twitter. You always want to get into a private communication. That's your best scenario. And there are cases where if it's a personal situation, a personal question, you don't want that on social media. You would move it off very quickly anyway. So that is to help you just to frame out, if this was said, what would we say? How would we get it off so that we can handle it in a different way? Now, there's always going to be times where things will be stated or sent back. You reach a point where you can't say anymore. you need to move it off. So I do agree with you. It's not going to stay on your Facebook or your Twitter. That it's best to get it off.
We take one last question before we move on to the next session. Anybody with a question? Yeah.
I am Neha from Sharma.
Can you hold your mic closer? Yeah.
It's a very private presentation. It is.
Here's the mic.
Can you hear it better now, or should I keep it away? What seems very evident is that the might in the fight to bring back public relations and bring it up to great escalation is going to be the professional behind. Can you hear it better now? Okay. Thanks. So it's going to be the professional who's going to arm this industry. So clearly in the last 15 years or so in India, most of the professionals are those in this industry are people who have rolled in maybe more by incident.
In demand would be the professionals who